digital, analog, binary, or even sundial. However you choose to keep track, it's said that Father Time is undefeated. He may catch you and I eventually, but sometimes some speedrunners can get one over on him and do something incredibly rare that defies the odds. Now, you know the drill in speedrun, right? One person climbs the mountain and does the impossible, then another, and another, and before you know it, you've got something like 172 people that have a sub 5 in Mario 1. But what if I told you there was a steeper side to that mountain? A challenge that over 5 years, only 4 runners have been able to take down. Well, this is the story of that 6-game, 60-minute gauntlet known as the Super Marihour. Well, tell me something. Do you think that there's any Mario game that you could beat in under an hour? Get out of here, Mario teaches typing. I'm talking about the main game. Mario 1, 2, 3, Lost Levels, this Super Mario World, Mario 64. The first time you beat one of those, no matter how long it takes, it feels amazing. Now, imagine beating all 6 in less than an hour. I'm Yo BGS, and we're looking at exactly that today. It's the Super Marihour Challenge and the special runners that have managed to take it down. So when you look at a challenge of this magnitude, it's right to wonder, well, who in their right mind would come up with a challenge like this? Obviously, it's a runner with a wealth of knowledge in classic games, somebody well known for their prowess with the plumber, somebody who's no stranger to a good self-imposed challenge, the inimitable Darby. Back in 2015, July specifically, Darb questioned if it was possible to beat these 6 titles in less than an hour in categories that don't just involve like the warping directly to the credits. When you first look at the leaderboards, you may be questioning if this challenge is even possible. Fair, given that you'd be hard-pressed to find a top-tier runner in just one game, let alone somebody who could take down all 6. And looking at speedrun.com, you can see that these are the world records for all 6 games. Now that means if you were on world record pace in everything, you still only have about 10 minutes of like error time or changing games, RNG Doom, different things to play around with. Mario 1 is pretty much the most straightforward. You're gonna hold right, run to the end, don't get bopped by Bowser the Hammer Bros, make sure you hit the warp zones. There's not a lot for me to say about the classic run opener. Although the God tier runners could write entire books on everything that can go wrong. Because at this point, you could just reset. It's 6 minutes at the most, and if you die, you just give it another go. But then, there's Lost Levels, aka the Japanese Mario 2. If you've ever given this a try, you know the question isn't what could go wrong, but what could go right. You know what I mean? Like where the original would have like 1 Koopa, 1 Goomba, something like that. Mario 2's got about 4. It's anxiety-inducing just to watch, let alone to try and play this. So third up is the US version of Mario 2. By the way, did you know that in Japan, this game is called Doki Doki Literature Club? Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment if you knew it's called Doki Doki Literature Club. I mean, it is. What? There's 4 of them, and if a death takes place, a piece of your soul kind of dies along with it. More similarities than you think, just saying. For real though, I've said it before that as a kid, I took a beating in World 1 of this classic and barely was able to get through that successfully. Chances are, when you played it growing up, it went like this. You either use Peach or Luigi to jump safely and cautiously through the levels, but that ain't cutting it because here, we got Turbo Toad. Alright, if you've never seen this before, there's this mechanic where Toad picks up an item and carries it around, and he instantly starts booking it like he's on a bad first date and left the oven on at home. Not to mention, this is the first game in this 6-game run where you're dealing with completely different physics from the first 2, and your brain has to remember to adjust like all this precise platforming accordingly. At 3 games into this, you'd think you're basically home free. Nope. Because if you look at the clock, these first 3 make up a little bit more than like 20 minutes of the total time of the run. In Mario 3, any percent, no wrong warp is a solid challenge. And, you know, it introduces the concept of P-speed. Now, shameless plug, I've done a whole video on how to get through Mario 3 without taking a ton of time and without it being a lot of trouble, and I'll go ahead and link that in the comments for you. Learning the basics of optimizing P-speed can help the runners make short work of this game but we have our first instance of that run hampering RNG. So the grabby hands of non-consensual grabbing badness. On this screen, you get got by any of the 3 hands, it could end up costing upwards of 2 minutes. Again, this is only in like a 10-minute run here. Now, you remember that 10-minute slop from earlier? You get bad luck here, you only got about 8 minutes of it. Alright, after Bowser's 3rd bad day in a row, you move on to Mario World, which, spoilers, I've also done a video on how to get through that kind of quickly. And if you take my videos into account, we're still not even close to the sub-hour pace that's needed to put this challenge on your resume in case you're applying to be an accountant at like your favorite Fortune 500 company. I'm just saying. This time, Mario's going to abuse P-Speed and a whole host of different power-ups to get to the end, including taking advantage of this glitch that could give Mario a cloud, could give Mario an orb, and it's going to make the run a little bit easier for these top-tier runners. At this point, we've changed up the physics, we've introduced P-Speed, now we're going to move into the 3rd dimension with Mario 64. Not only that, but I would argue this, the last game, is the most technically unforgiving of the run, because not being able to get the glitches is going to turn a 10-minute run into a 30 or 50-minute disaster, depending on what backup run you ended up deciding to do. Basically, Mario needs to clip through a door, toss Bowser into a bomb, clip through another door, get a star, bop Bowser, clip through 2 more freaking doors, and this is not easy. You gotta bop Bowser once and for all, keeping in mind a missed throw donks another 30 seconds of that slap time I mentioned earlier, and hope that you're under 60 minutes. I mean, I'm ready to quit, and I've just been explaining the stuff. We know Darbian started working on this challenge back in July of 2015. Even with all his familiarity with the games, it would take a month straight of grinding just to get over the hump and post a 58:27, the first completed Marihour challenge.
And there is an example of what speedrunning is. Oh my goodness. Finally!
One person doing the impossible is phenomenal enough, but as I pointed out, it's rare that the story stops there. Now, looking up Darbian's runs, I came across this almost prophetic comment that said, I wonder if Lack will try this. The commenter had to have been relatively new, because if it exists, Lack is at least going to give it a go. Hang on to that thought, by the way, because before Lack, we're going to get a run from the Mario Maestro himself, Cosmic. The man who's frequently called a cheater on Facebook by people who just don't understand how the red hat can go so fast. If Darbian's Mario resume gave him the tools needed to take on this challenge, of course Cosmic is in a position to do the same. It would be about 10 months, though, between when Darbian finished his run and when Cosmic joined him to become the second to topple the Super Marihour challenge. Hey, so future YoBGS here. Turns out when I was looking at speedrun.com, I got Lag Attack's year wrong. So he was actually the second to get it, and Cosmic was the third, but still, enjoy this awesome end of the run.
Yay! There's 3 people with it now.
Remember that sweet Lack Attack 24 shadowing earlier? You see, because Lack Attack 24, it's for shadow. You know, someday they're gonna invent a way to throw tomatoes through a computer screen, and that's gonna be a sad day for me. But Lack Attack, he's run such AAA classics as The Legend of Zelda, Super Adventure Island 2, and Big Nose the Caveman, along with so many, many more. Now, he's got the resume, the drive, and about 6 months after Cosmic, he'd also have the title of Super Marihour Completionist.
I might be I might be 30 seconds short, which I'll be really sad. Ah, I did it! I did it! Oh my god. PB at SM64.
So worth noting, but not worth elaborating on too much because I really don't want to bite Summoning Salt style. Before these two even finished their first runs, Darby lowered his PB to a solid 56-17. Days turned into weeks, turned into months, years. The trio stood atop the challenge that seemingly nobody else could complete. Of course, few runners have their skill set, even fewer have the desire to grind out such a rough combination of runs, but if you saw my video on the Big 20, you know I love a specialist, an assassin, a challenger that comes out of the blue and bops all comers. Enter Pixel Perfect Runs. If you don't know this young runner yet, you will. Why do I say that? Well, what if I told you that while Lack, Cosmic, and Darb had a couple of completions total on the challenge, Pixel Perfect has 6 PBs that have all met the hour challenge. Yeah, you're probably gonna know him soon. I don't want to give too much of the story of Pixel's journey because he's hinted at on stream that it may be something he wants to delve into in a future video of his own. But the part that blew my mind is he's basically learned all 6 of these games simultaneously. Now, cutting time from 6 games all at once, making this massive fortress of a run look like a sandcastle at high tide. Run after run, attempt after attempt, he whittled minutes, then seconds, then frames. And on September 4th, well, you tell me.
God. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe it! I can't! We just got world record! Oh my god!
So that's where we stand as of this recording. One man's desire to fit a 6-pack of great games into the narrowest possible window has led to an incredible challenge, an excellent set of runs, and an outstanding thing of beauty to see executed all the way through. I cannot recommend enough watching any of the PBs for this multi-game masterclass that'll have you on the edge of your seat. If you liked this video, by the way, please subscribe. You're going to get some more multi-game challenge type content. I've been loving covering these races, doing videos on some different challenges and things. If you like or comment that you're digging it, it helps me know that that's kind of the direction I should go in. By the way, if you know of any other cool multi-game challenges, doesn't necessarily have to be a big race, but just a challenge that some runners have taken on, feel free to let me know, comment below, and maybe I'll be able to take that on in the next video. So that's going to do it for me for this video, my friends. I'm YoBGS, and I'll be seeing you next time for that salty rundown.